define their game plans for retirement, as well as I know you're also meeting with other folks to help them in making good choices about their health care.
Exactly.
And, one of the things that some folks come in with a bunch of questions. They have things written down, other folks don't. And I think it's really important to be prepared when you go visit with an advisor, frankly, even with your own advisor, as a checkup. But at the same time, if you are making the decision to either consider employing an advisor to assist you or changing advisors, I think it's good for you to, if nothing else, to be able to set expectations.
Expectations are important, especially if you are looking for a long-term relationship with someone or with an advisor, that you set those expectations early, and also that you check in on them frequently just in case, one person isn't holding up their end of the bargain.
Right. I mean, and we know that, all of us are making decisions in the moment, and things do change. Either you're doing things to change, or things happen to you that changes occur. So I think it's important, again, to align your expectations as much as you can with the folks that you're working with. That way, what happens is the relationship, I think, becomes more meaningful. And meaningful, especially with a financial advisor, we think means profitable. Not only hopefully in making money, but at the same time also meeting those goals that you have over the long term. So the first question I would be asking if I was engaging a new advisor would be, could you describe for me your ideal client profile in terms of folks' age, working or retired, specific occupations? Do you have a minimum net worth that you're looking at working with somebody? And what are the kind of people that you work with? Do you prefer to work with folks that are collaborative with you? Do you prefer to work with folks that are do-it-yourselfers, or those that we would consider delegators?
Yeah, these are all important questions because there are quite a different variety of financial professionals in the industry, and many of them have taken the time to specialize in different segments of society. We only work with people that are getting ready to retire or already retired.
Or their kids.
Or their kids, right?
We help the kids out.
Sure, but primarily our goal is
Yes.
to work with individuals in retirement, and that would include their families, so I guess that makes sense as well. But there are plenty of advisors that work with people as you are preparing for retirement, and that from the day one when you begin working all the way up until retirement, so they help you accumulate your assets, which is a far different skill.
Yeah, because at the distribution phase, frankly, I think it takes a little bit more in-depth knowledge. I mean, you're really looking at taxes become an extremely important aspect in retirement planning.
When you can take assets, how you can take them, where you can take them from.
Those are the biggies. I mean, those are
just to start.
Those are just the biggies. And actually creating a income tax strategy in terms of making these rolls is something that we consider to be an integral part of our practice.
Absolutely. And
liquidity planning, we're also talking about with many folks. We're also then talking about charitable planning. We also may be talking about educational planning.
Sure, estate planning as well.
That's the big one, which is when I'm done with my assets during my lifetime, how do I efficiently and frankly effectively have my wishes fulfilled when I'm no longer needing these assets? How do we pass it on to the people we love, whether it's, as we'd like to say, your churches, your charities, your children, grandchildren, whoever it might be, with the minimal amount of involvement from Uncle Sam or actually the probate courts?
That's right. So making sure your documents are in order, making sure your beneficiaries are designated properly, also making sure not only your documents in order, but they actually reflect your current wishes, because we see plenty of clients who had wills done at a pivotal point in their life, when they were married, when they first had children,
right.
And then they haven't reviewed them again until another pivotal point, which would be retirement. And that could be a 20 to 30-year gap for some people.
And some folks never had documents. Let's be honest with you.
Some people never had them created to start.
I mean, frankly, when you're getting closer to the distribution phase, it only makes sense to make sure that if you do have certain specific objectives with your money after your death, that you want these to be passed on to the people you love in an effective way. And maybe more importantly is, and they didn't have this 20, 30 years ago, are these medical directives, these durable powers of attorney, so that you're able to direct those folks that are your professionals, like your physicians, like a hospital, like an attorney, to act in a certain manner if you happen to be unable to communicate your wishes, right?
Right. So having all of those documents in order and having them in the right places. So with your physicians, with family members that would respond in a crisis situation is
Yeah,
important.
we should have got your sister to be a doctor. I mean, to be a lawyer instead of a doctor. I mean, I would say that we send folks out maybe 100 times a year.
To have these very basic
Right,
documents
because the
taken care
documents,
of.
exactly, and it's really important. I mean, having that legal foundation so that the house, if you want to think about it, this beautiful game plan, this house that we're building for you is really sitting on a firm foundation is extremely important. You definitely don't want it to fall apart the moment the plan has to go into action, and that's really why the legal documents are frankly just so important to have.
And you're just a few of the components of the things that many different advisors work with when they're working with retirees.
Yeah, and I guess that's the point really is that not everyone is as advisors. Not everyone is desiring or frankly equipped to be able to handle those type of levels of service for their clients.
Also, not
And
all
there's nothing wrong with that either,
Of course, and also not all clients want that level of service from an
That's right.
advisor. So these questions really go both ways because as much as you're interviewing a potential advisor, they're also interviewing you because like we talked about, we'd like to work with our clients for the next 30 plus years. So making sure that we're both engaging in a relationship that's going to be beneficial on both sides and that's going to, not just be beneficial in terms of producing results, but also, be a sound relationship really depends upon if we're both looking for the same things.
And it's interesting because it kind of brings me up to an example of something that happened yesterday.
Oh,
If you remember, Aaron and I, we had actually it was one of our neighbors, a small business owner, that we had stayed on friendly terms. We weren't friends, but the fact is that we were always very friendly. We saw each other on the street occasionally, and we would say hello. And we were, how's your business doing, etc. And he called. He called to come in for a coaching session. He was concerned about his healthcare needs because his group had gone down basically to himself, and he needed Aaron to assist him, and he wanted Aaron to help him with the transition. He'd been listening to the show for many years, and that was kind of fun.
yes.
But at the same time, he'd asked us to take a look at his investment portfolio. He was considering the possibility of selling his business in the near future and was hoping that we might, because of the personal relationship we created over the years, he felt like we were somebody that maybe he could trust and could assist him in possibly investing the proceeds of his business to, again, obviously create an income stream for him to maintain his lifestyle. And he had a couple of small accounts to start with today.
Yes, he did.
And, we looked at these, and there wasn't a lot of money in them, which frankly didn't make that much of a difference. But he had told us that
he was making all of his investment decisions, and he was enjoying it.
Right.
Slightly, at least. When things were going well, he was enjoying it.
And so we had a conversation about this in detail, and frankly told him,
right now we are probably not the place you want to be.
Right. You ought to be working with a discount broker, someone where you can actually make those trades as you're invested in wanting to do this in a lowest cost environment. Why pay an advisor
when you're keeping your own counsel?
Exactly. I mean, we weren't going to be providing individual stock tips, etc. But he was having fun doing it, and we said, have fun as long as you want to. But after you've made that distribution, you have to really ask yourself the question: Do you want to continue to be responsible for making the investment decisions on this money? If so, awesome. Go and do your thing. And if you decide that you want to delegate this responsibility,
we're here for you then too.
That's right. We're here for you, and we'd love to. And he sort of went through a whole discussion about, I don't want to do this. I might like to have fun money, what I'm doing today, but frankly, I really want someone else to be responsible for this. And we said, that's great. When you sell your business and you have your dough, you know where to come.
Exactly, because we work with individuals who truly are delegators because they
right.
want to go out and enjoy their retirement, do all the things that they plan to do, and we're there to help facilitate making sure those things can happen.
And it doesn't happen very often, and I guess they may get this from the show, but frankly, if you enjoy and you feel like you're successful on the investment side, the investment function, you don't need a financial advisor.